Hi, friends. Welcome back to another weekly tarot reading from Junodrome Intuitive Arts. My name is Juno, and today we're going to be going into what to expect for all of the zodiac signs. We'll go through each one, so watch your sun, moon, and rising signs. All three will help you triangulate what you can expect for the week ahead. So if you are catching this live, you can just watch along with us. Feel free to communicate within the chat. I will be reading the chat messages and talking with everybody there. If you're catching this in post, you can go down to the description section to find where in the reading are your sun, moon, and rising signs. I also encourage you to hang out for the end and watch the collective reading as well. So we're going to get started here. First things first, let's start with Aries. Aries, sun, moon, and rising signs. What can our Aries signs expect this week? Aries, sun, moon, and rising. Aries, sun, moon, and rising. What can our Aries signs expect for the week? All right, so here we go for Aries. Hello, Aries, sun, moon, and rising signs. What can you expect for the week ahead? Let's take a look. Well, first things first, we've got the Eight of Swords, which can talk about feeling stuck. So there's something going on. Hey, Melissa, welcome. There's something going on where you are feeling as though you're reserved a little bit, right? There's something keeping you held back. And maybe that's not something you want. A lot of times this talks about being stuck in a way that we don't want. But the thing about it is sometimes it can be helpful for us anyway, right? It can help you to gain a better perspective on where you really are. It can help you figure out some things. So I would say if you're feeling as though you can't move forward in a way that you want, Aries, this week, I would use that. Use that to remain held back a little bit to help you gain further insight so that when you're finally ready to move forward, you'll feel a little bit better about it. You've got the Strength card. So this is encouraging you to remember that you are a deeply strong and capable person and that you can move forward however you need to, right? And so maybe this step back moment you might be feeling is necessary for you to rebuild your strength, to regain your strength, to feel solid and ready to move forward on a deeper level once you're ready for it, right? So you've got the King of Pentacles. And this card is about being in your own power and in the power of abundance, that you really are feeling deeply abundant this week. But the thing about the abundance journey that's always important to remember, the pentacles are the slowest moving out of all of the cards because it's in the physical world. When you're building something into the physical world, it takes time, it takes energy. And so you are being encouraged to slow down, to take your time with it, to let things build on a slow process a little bit at a time. The more that you can do that this week, the more that you'll be feeling capable, and by the end of the week I think you'll be in a position to start moving forward from that other place. So really take the time with that. And you have the Knight of Pentacles too, which, like I said before, it's a very slow moving. Look, he's riding a turtle, right? So this is a slow action, and that's important to remember. So you might not be as stuck as you think. Your momentum might still be there, but it might be at a snail's pace this week, and that's important, right? Sometimes it's important to take our time, to slow down, to really dot the I's and cross the T's as we move forward. I think you're being encouraged to do that, to really take a look at everything going on, make sure that you're doing things in the right way, and take your time with it. If you feel called to take some breaks or to slow down or to take rest this week, you do it, because I think the momentum is moving at a slow enough pace this week for you to be able to really take your time with things. And as things build, you'll find yourself in a position by the end of the week to feel like really solid in where you're at. So anyway, Aries, sun, moon, and rising signs. That was my reading for you. Dot the lowercase j's. Yeah, absolutely. Dot those lowercase j's. All right. Let's move on to Taurus. Before we do, if you would like a private reading with me, they are available on my website. You can find information at junodrome.com. And yeah, that's it for now. We'll keep going. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and yeah, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to another week, everybody who's tuning in. Excuse me. Great to have everybody with us this week. I hope you're all having an excellent week so far. It's been a good week for me. I hope this week it proves to be good for all of us. All right, so let's move on now. All right, Taurus, sun, moon, and rising signs. What can you expect for the week ahead? Well, first things first, you've got the Fool card, which is interesting. This came out a lot last week as well. So I do think that we're continuing into this new beginnings energy, particularly as we lead up into the astrological new year, which is coming up in a week or two. It's coming up. The astrological new year is starts with Aries sign. So whenever Aries starts, it's at the end of this month, but it's coming up, and that astrological new year is a time for rebirth, of reconnection. It's the beginning of spring, and Imbolc, right? Imbolc is the pagan holiday that is associated with this time of year. It is that rebirth energy, and so the springtime, the rebirth is coming in for you in particular, Aries. So what can you do with that new energy that's bubbling in? It's ready to come. We're right about to birth into the spring, and you might be feeling that spring energy, that momentum to push yourself into doing something new, trying something new. We just did daylight savings today, right? So there we go. It's that spring ahead energy that we're in right now. And I think you're really feeling that. With the Knight of Wands, Taurus, I think you're going to be feeling a lot of inspiration and momentum to move towards some of your dream energy, right? So to follow your passions, to do something that excites you. You're going to be feeling a lot of momentum in your exciting energy, maybe some activities or some fun things. You'll feel inspired to follow your hobbies, your passions a little bit this week, and do things from a position of wanting to wanting to feel good about yourself and about life, and really moving that momentum forward for yourself. There's a really big push for you to be doing that this week. So ride that energy. Ride the energy that's coming in with that, because it's going to be really helpful for you in the long run. You've got the Eight of Pentacles. So this is about continuing to put in the work in the areas that you've been to build the things that you're building. So keep working, It can be a little bit monotonous sometimes to have to continue to put in work in certain areas over and over and over again, having faith that they will lead you in a direction that you want to go, but not necessarily seeing results from it. So just keep doing it. Keep knowing that your passions and your inspirations, if you need a renewed boost of passion as you move into continuing to put in the momentum in certain places, maybe do that. How can you switch things up where you continue to do the work you need to do, but maybe change a little bit of it, maybe do things from a different perspective, maybe do things in a new way a little bit. The more that you can do that, the more that will help you feel more solid in yourself as you're moving forward, and maybe renew your energy and your inspiration, and to be able to continue to do the monotonous things, right? Finally, you have the King of Swords. So this is a very clear-headed, analytical thinking person, and there's a lot of power in your analytical thinking prowess, right? So this week, I think, is all about tuning into your analytical mind and making sure that you are coming at life from a place of clear, confident perspective, right? So, if you need to clear some things away in your life to be able to think a little bit clearer, right? If there are things distracting you, or there are situations in your life that are pushing you in a direction you don't want to be in, anything like that, this is an excellent week for you to kind of clear things away, right? That spring cleaning energy, the mental spring cleaning energy this week as well, I think would be really helpful in the long run. So really asking yourself, do I need this? Do I want this? Do I need to do something different? Any of those kinds of questions, I think, will be really fruitful for you this week in the long run, because ultimately, the goal is to continue to work on the things you need to and you want to, but to do it from a place of feeling renewed energy, so that you're not resenting the work, but you're feeling excited about what you're doing. So anyway, Taurus, sun, moon, and rising signs. That was my reading for you. I encourage you to please watch all your sun, moon, and rising signs. All three will help you triangulate. If you have multiples in certain areas, that's fine too. And you're welcome to watch kind of any of these readings, particularly if you're wondering, for what your Jupiter sign is helping you with, or your Saturn, like any of those kinds of things. You can watch all of them, just to give you whatever triangulation you need for the week. It's up to you. There's also going to be a collective reading at the end of this that will be for everybody. So we got all of them. And yeah, if you would like a private reading from me, they are available on my website. You can find information in the description section for that. And we're going to move on now. If you're catching this live, we're going to go through all of the signs. We're on our third sign now. We're on Gemini. Okay, Gemini, sun, moon, and rising signs. What can you expect for the week ahead? Well, you've got the Two of Cups, which is actually, this card represents Gemini usually. It's the Lover's card, well, one of the Lover's cards, but it can talk about partnership in general, coming together with somebody else. For it coming into your sign, Gemini, I am taking this, maybe for some people, it'll be about connecting in with another person, but I'm taking this to mean connecting in with yourself, right? That all parts of you are on the same page this week, moving you forward. And we have more evidence of that with the Chariot card, which is this like powerful momentum moving things forward, chugging along towards victory, right? Moving in a fast, swift movement in a positive, clear direction. So I think that this week, I think you're going to have a sense of clarity within yourself enough to be able to start moving forward and to use that momentum to push yourself forward. I think this week is going to be all about letting go of external perspectives and tuning into your own inner heart, your own inner place to help you move forward, right? This can be the deception card sometimes, but a lot of times, it can talk about how we're deceiving ourselves. So maybe this is a powerful week of clearing out whatever self-sabotage, self-deceptive energies going on, the things you've been telling yourself for a long time that aren't true. Maybe this is an excellent week to start letting some of those things go, to clear out your own energy, clear out your own inner self so that you can be in a positive momentum moving forward and help yourself in the long run. This could be a wonderful opportunity for you to clear away some of the things that have been pushing you in the wrong direction and help you feel more solid in yourself so that you can move forward in the direction you really want to go down. Also, you have the Five of Pentacles, which is the Dark Night of the Soul card. This card can talk about feeling uh it's hitting rock bottom, and I'm not thinking that you're hitting rock bottom right now. I think that you hit rock bottom in your life at one point, potentially. Could be recent, could be in the distant past. It really just depends for your life and situation, but you've been through some difficult and challenging situations that maybe have colored your experience here. And I think that that's a part of what needs to happen this week, is to look at those things and help you start to unravel and untangle some of the knots that are within you, to open yourself up to feeling as though you actually have the capability to do what you want to do, because you do. And I think the more that you do that kind of work this week and really kind of unwind whatever those inner knots might be, it opens you up to feeling clearer and open so that you can move forward in a positive direction for yourself. I feel I feel as though that's a really positive outcome to that kind of work if you choose to do it this week. So yeah, Gemini, that was my reading for you, Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. Kristen says this tracks for Gemini sister. Okay, that's great. Excellent. I'm glad that it seems like it's fitting here. We're going to move on now. If you would like a private reading, they are available on the website, junodrome.com, or check the description. We're going to keep going. If you like the channel, you're always welcome to donate. There's a donation page in the description as well. And Melissa, my reading for you is coming. I just remembered I have to do that for you. So don't worry, I'll have it in a few days for you. All right, so let's keep moving forward. Who's next here? Next up, we have Cancer. Melissa says no worries. All right, sweet. Okay, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. What can you expect for the week ahead? Well, for you, I think that you are going to be taking a journey. I think you're starting a new journey here. There's a lot of new energy coming in. This is we're entering into the astrological new year. This is spring, in bulk for those who celebrate the pagan holidays. I believe I don't know too much about those, but that is something coming up here. You have the Page of Cups. So this is about starting a new journey, being the student in your emotions. So this week, I think you're really being encouraged to take a student's approach, right? The student mind, being at the beginning, not knowing everything, having a curious, open mind towards life and towards reality, feeling open-minded enough to ask yourself, well, what are the things that will make me happy? and start exploring that, maybe experimenting, asking yourself, maybe this thing could make me happy. Let me experiment and see. Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay, that's fine. Let me let that go. Let me experiment with this thing. Maybe this will be something that I enjoy, right? So opening yourself up to the idea that there are many things in the world, and maybe an exploratory approach, not telling yourself I must do this because I have to do that, and this is going to make me happy because I have to do this, right? Instead of doing that, start asking yourself the questions of, well, what might help me, what might make me happy, what might be something I might enjoy, and if I can experiment with it and see first, do I like this? And if the answer is no, there's no harm there. It's just something that you're exploring and you're having a good time figuring things out, playing from it from that perspective. I think the more that you do that this week, the more that you'll feel comfortable in the long run here. You have the Seven of Cups, which is talking about um, having a lot of options and maybe not knowing which way to go. So I think this week you're being encouraged to explore all of your options. Look at this person balancing on the beam here as they're exploring things and moving along. I think this is an excellent week for that exploratory phase. And it might be an internal journey as well, because you have journeys here. So going out and figuring things out, figuring out what you want and what you don't want, and letting that be your exploratory phase, I think in the long run might help you feel really good about things too, because you'll be able to ask yourself, those questions of, this is something I actually want. And if the answer to that is no, that's okay too, right? That's a learning experience. That's you learning what you do want, what you don't want, what is good for you, what's not good for you. Any way that you can learn that in the long run, that helps you out. That helps you figure things out, right? And so there's no wasted time in exploring. And I think that that's a big theme for the week for you, because ultimately it's helping you build that stability and that abundance, because this is a big week for that too, of the physical world, of exploring. I think exploring even places, if you're questioning about, should I move here? Maybe this would be a good place. Obviously take it as it resonates for you in your life, but this could be a week for doing that too, like literally exploring places. Like, okay, I've always wanted to, I had a feeling I might always like to live in this place. Is there a way for me to get there on the short term? Maybe planning a vacation somewhere, maybe driving around, like it could be even on neighborhood levels. Like maybe I would like it. What would it be like to live in this neighborhood of my city? Maybe this week I'm going to spend all my extra time going to cafes and shops and whatever, if you live in a city, and explore that neighborhood. Or, if it's towns, like maybe I'll drive into this town a couple times this week and see what it's like at this time of day. And what is it like at this time of day? Doing some time to explore. And it could be inward journeys as well, So like I was saying before, if it's an activity based or a job based thing, maybe I can watch extra YouTube videos about this career. Maybe I can talk to somebody who's doing this job and ask them about it. And this is a very good moment for you to explore different things and all of the possibilities, keeping an open mind about where you could go, and really kind of exploring each one of these cups, as you open up your mind to each one of these, ask yourself, is this something I want? And if no is the answer, that's fine, right? You've learned more about yourself. You've learned more about what you want and what you don't want. And that can help you for the next journey and the next process until you find something that you really do want. So I think exploring is going to be a huge thing for you this week, and really kind of exploring how things could go for you and using that to move you forward. So anyway, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs, I hope you have an excellent week. That was my reading for you. We're going to move along now. Kristen says, an old friend, Cancerian, is going through a huge life transition. I hope she does what you're suggesting. Okay, yeah. She really needs to explore what she actually wants and does not want. Yeah, and honestly, it can be really helpful to take the time to do that, because, there's no harm in trying something. There really isn't. And if you decide it's not for you, then there's no harm in changing your mind either. I think the more that we can take time to explore things, ultimately it opens up within us a sense of freedom. And then also it can just we can come to a place within ourselves of feeling good about where we are when we finally find the thing we do want, right? And that sometimes it takes that exploration in order to find the things we really want as well. Okay, so we're going to move on now to Leo. All right, Leo, sun, moon, and rising signs. What can you expect for the week ahead? Well, for you, it's interesting. It's coming out a lot. And I think it's because of where we are. And I'll keep saying it, but a big collective message. The Fool, we're at the new beginnings, a new journey. The astrological new year is coming up, which I think is why it's being so pushed here as in our astrology readings. It's important to talk about that this is a new beginning that we're all in. Imbolc is the name of the pagan holiday, at least in like, I think it's the Wicca holiday. So if you don't have to, you don't have to celebrate those, but you could. They could be helpful. I personally, I don't necessarily celebrate them fully, but I think it's great to use that calendar to help understand some things sometimes, particularly in the tarot and astrological worlds. Sometimes those can be helpful. This is about spring, right? The rites of spring, the new moments opening up to a brand new time. We're about to enter into Aries season, I think in a week or two. And so that Aries energy is present around us. This is a moment of really opening yourself up to feeling good about your new beginning and trying new things, doing things differently, being in a new place, letting yourself take new steps, do things in a different way, explore from an open-minded, open-hearted place of who knows, of feeling that energy of maybe, of possibilities, of this could be something, right? So I think that this is a powerful week for you to do that, to ask yourself what you want and to explore a little bit. You have the Six of Pentacles, which talks about asking for help sometimes or giving help. So, there might be people around you who need help. So that's one thing. But also, though, this is a great moment for you to lean on your support structure a little bit as well. I think with the Ten of Wands, Leo, you may have been taking charge of certain things that maybe you don't need to. Maybe you're holding on to too many responsibilities or doing too many things at once. And this might be an opportunity to get some help from your support structure, from those around you, to lessen the load a little bit so that you can be a little bit more free and be in this freedom energy. I think that this is a great moment for you to find people to help you with your responsibilities, because you don't have to do it all alone. And sometimes we get forced into the perspective, or we put ourselves in the perspective, or whatever life puts us into the perspective where we think we need to achieve everything on our own, and that there's this sense of resilience of being the only one doing something, right? And that can be good sometimes, like it can be good to be self-sufficient, but sometimes we can do it to a fault. And so I think that you're being encouraged this week, Leo, to really ask yourself, what are some things that I can put down, or what are some things that my support structure can help me with, or what are some things that people around me can help, and maybe the people around you want to help. Maybe it can be a great way to build community among everybody, to be in a position where you can help people out and you can do things for others, right? Finally, you have the Six of Cups, which talks about being in a position of remembering things from the past. This is about happy memories from childhood or somewhere in your past and bringing those back. So maybe this is a great week as well of, picking up old projects or picking up old hobbies, or trying to do a few things that you used to do, or exploring some past dreams and bringing them into this moment. I think maybe this is a great time to find some help a little bit so that you can explore yourself a little bit more and not feel guilty about doing something for you, and finding the time to be able to do a little bit for yourself. And it doesn't have to be a lot, and you don't have to put down all your responsibilities or completely run away from everything, but lessening this load just enough to be able to explore some things that are good for you, that you want. I think that the more that you do that this week, I think you'll leave the week feeling really happy and more content about yourself. And that might, in the long run, put you in a position of feeling really solid and really good moving forward. So anyway, Leo, that was my reading for you. Please watch your sun, moon, and rising for full exposure to the week's understandings. Kristen says, Def want to feel more free. And there's too much to type here to explain how much this resonates. Okay, great. I'm glad that it was resonating a lot. That's awesome. Okay, we're going to move on. If you would like a private reading from me, they are available on the website. You can find information in the description, or go to junodrome.com. Subscribe if you're new. Those subscriptions do help the algorithm bring this to as many people as it can. We're going to move on. I do think next week, just as an FYI to my regulars watching, I think next week I'm going to try vertical again because we got so many more people exploring these with the vertical reading than we do when it's horizontal. So I think next week I'm going to start doing vertical again. So just so you guys know, I don't know if you're watching on a TV, I believe it will still show you the vertical readings, but it might be kind of portrait mode. So if that's the case, I apologize. But I think that for channel growth, I think it'll be the best for me to do it in that way. So just so you guys know, I'm going to be doing it in portrait mode live next week just to explore that a little bit more, and we'll see in the long run. I think in the long run, when I'm in a position to do it, I might try to find another way to do like 2 readings per week, maybe I will do one reading like this with the vertical because I think that that can be good for people watching in post as well. But then I do think trying to do a portrait mode live is important for channel discovery. So I'm not sure. If you have any ideas, feel free to let me know. But yeah, I think that's ultimately what I'm going to try to do next week. Kristen says, "You do it, dog. Try it out and see what happens. We'll be fine here either way." Okay, yeah, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it that way because I think that that will. I think that'll be good. I think that'll be good. All right, so we're going to move on now to Virgo. All right, Virgo, sun, moon, and rising signs. What can you expect for the week ahead? Well, Virgo, first of all, we've got the Nine of Cups. So, this is a powerful week for you to be exploring your own happiness, right? Doing the things that you love to do and not feeling ashamed for doing them, right? This is an excellent week for you to maybe even go it alone a little bit to explore your own interests. Obviously, if you have responsibilities or you have things that you need to do, meet those. But any type of free time you have, don't feel like pulled into things you don't want to do this week. Really ask yourself, is this something I want or is it something I don't want? And if it's something you don't want and it's something you can say no to, don't be afraid to do that. I think the more that you can do that this week, the more that you'll end up feeling happier about yourself and putting yourself in a position of feeling as though things are possible, that you can move forward from a good place, right? This is a great week for you to go off and do your own thing and to be excited about doing your own thing and feel good about exploring your interests a little bit. With the Four of Cups, the universe is trying to give you a gift here, and I think that you're not quite seeing it. You're focused on the things that either are not working, or I think with these two together, I think it's sort of like maybe you feel guilty about doing the things that you like because you feel as though you shouldn't for some reason. And it could be even subconscious that you're feeling subconsciously guilty about doing the things you really want to do. And this is a good week of just kind of doing them anyway, of reminding yourself that it's okay to have fun, reminding yourself that it's okay to do things for yourself sometimes, that it's important to meet your own needs, right? There's this the idea when you're on an airplane, you have to secure your own oxygen mask before you can help others, because if you don't, you're going to pass out. And not only will you not be able to help people, but you're hurting all of those around you, right? So this is a this is a great moment of like doing the things you want to do, because it's going to help you feel more secure. And then maybe you'll be able to help others from a more secure place in the long run. You've got the Knight of Pentacles, which talks about movement in the physical world. So this is about building your own stability, building the things that are good for yourself. And with this card too, this can also talk about being proud of yourself as well. There's a importance in that. So I think that this is a good week of feeling proud about your accomplishments and your achievements, and feeling good about the things that you can do well, and celebrating those, and using those achievements to help you build stability as well. That not feeling like you're being conceited for playing to your own strengths or something like that, or that it's too easy to do the things that are easy for you. It's like if something comes naturally to you, that is an indication that it's something that is a real skill that you can lean into. So lean into that and help bring it forward for yourself this week. I think as you continue to do that, the tried and true is the best way to go with the Hierophant here. And I think that's a part of what this is talking about, is sort of saying that the things that are within your skill set, you know look and see how other people are utilizing those skills in the world that we're in, and maybe you can utilize the skills in that way too, and how people have traditionally been utilizing those. I think the more that you can do that, and to play to your strengths and to feel good about your strengths, I think that that's going to help you move forward. Instead of focusing on all the things you can't do or that you're not good at, what are you really, really, truly good at, and how can you use that to help move yourself forward into this place of stability? I think that the more that you can ask yourself that and to follow that feeling within you, I think that that's going to help you secure that stability that you're looking for, right? That your talents are there for a reason, and there's something to utilize and to help yourself move forward. And I think that this week in particular, you're going to be seeing that a little bit clearer, and you can use that a little bit clearer to move yourself forward. So anyway, that was for Virgo, sun, moon, and rising signs. I hope that that's helpful. We're going to move on now. So, yeah, I hope that everybody's having a good week. Do watch your sun, moon, and rising signs to get a triangulation of what to expect. You can watch other signs as well. If you're feeling lacking in love or questioning what your love life will be like this week, you could watch your Venus sign and try to interpret that in a love-based way. That's always possible. If you're wondering what your social life will be like this week, if you're wondering what your sociability and your communication with others would be, maybe check out where what your Gemini is in, right? Your Gemini. I'm sorry, not your Gemini. Your Mercury. What's your Mercury in? That might help you figure that out a little bit too, right? So utilizing those other planet placements, if you know them in your chart, could also give you more information. So just depending on how you want, that could help you a little bit, right? Your moon sign will help you interpret what your emotions will be like, what your emotional state might be like. Your rising sign could help you understand how others will be perceiving you and what your interaction with other people might be like, right? Your sun sign gives you a general outlook on your own self and your own life. Those are all the placements that can help you understand things, right? Okay, and then just watch whatever you want, and this really is that's up to you. We're gonna move on now to Libra, right? Let me just do some quick math. After Virgo comes Libra. Yeah. All right, let's move on. All right, Libra, sun, moon, and rising signs. What can you expect this week? Well, first of all, you've got the Queen of Wands. So that's a powerful manifestation energy coming into your life. So this week is going to be about manifesting new things in. What can you do to bring in your dreams? What can you do to create the things you really want to make in your life and make things happen? This is a great moment for you to start asking those questions, to ask yourself, what can I do to make things feel solid? What can I do to bring in the things I want for myself and create for myself a new beginning? How can I bring in this momentum to bring the things I really want into my life in? This is a good week for that. You've got the Justice card, which is your sign. This is the card that represents Libra in the tarot. So that's actually a really good sign. With that, Justice is about balancing. This is the scales, which is what Libra is. So this is a great, first of all, I think you're going to be feeling like you're in your own wheelhouse this week as well. You're going to be feeling as though you can actually do things, that you're moving into momentum, moving yourself forward. Could be a very social week for you. Libra is a very social sign. So if you're feeling extra social this week, lean into it. Lean into all of the main Libra attributes with that as well. The very communicative and social, and creating that connection point with others. It's a great week for that. With the Justice card as well, this is about karmic justice. So this is about getting the things back that you put in. So if you put in a lot of work or you put a lot of energy into something, you might be receiving that energy back to you this week, for better or worse, right? Karma is not always a good thing, not always a bad thing. It's just saying what you put out, you get back, right? And the spiritual, it's a larger thing usually. It's not even in just this lifetime. It's like what you do over lifetimes and lifetimes. But this is an excellent moment of maybe receiving some good karma back to you, or having good things happen because of the good things that you've done. It could be a week of that. You've got the Page of Pentacles. So be in the student energy when it comes to your physical world around you, where you're living, what your job is, what your life looks like, how money's coming in, what your health is like, all of those things. Take a curious student-like approach to those things this week. If you're feeling a little bit lost about any of those things, what your job is, where you're living, what your car is like. I don't know why I thought that, but anything in your physical world, if you're having any kind of questions, be really curious about the things that come up. Don't feel super closed-minded. Don't think you know what's happening. Ask yourself questions. If something strange is happening, if something different is going on, if you're feeling like you're thrown through a loop, instead of just falling into the same kind of pattern, be really quizzical instead, even about yourself too. Like if you find yourself like stuck at traffic lights and hating it and being like, why am I getting every single one and blah, blah, blah. Instead of like getting mad about it, start asking yourself, well, why does this bother me? Why am I so impatient? Why am I, ask yourself some of those questions. That's just an example. But, if you're finding yourself stuck in the mind in any particular way, be curious about that. Be curious about, what are the assumptions that have led you to thinking that there isn't a possibility forward? And how can you change that so that you can feel as though you can move forward from a more positive place, And I think with the Five of Cups here, we're also kind of looking in that direction. This could be the grief card. It could be sadness. It's about losing things, but also having an appreciation for the things that you still have left and learning how to see the gifts that are still a part of your life after difficult things have happened. So this week might be an opportunity for you to really kind of look at that too, to look at like, well, what are the things that are in my life? What are the things that are here for me in this moment? And how can I appreciate them? And how can I feel all I need to feel around grief too? If you're feeling like you need to grieve the loss of things from your life or from the world, or there's a lot of things to grieve right now, but even if it's in your personal life, giving yourself the time and the space to do that, I think will be really important. The thing, I think that's a part of this balance as well, of giving yourself the emotional balance to understand that, not all emotions are positive, and they don't have to be. That all emotions are welcome in our bodies. We have to feel all of them. We are emotional beings, and we need to, in order to let our emotions go, we have to take the time to feel all of them. And so this week you might be feeling deep emotions. And if you're feeling any of those, give yourself the time and the space to feel them fully, because the more that you can do that, the more that you'll be able to feel centered and to feel this sense of balance, instead of feeling lost or depressed or distant. It's about connecting to all of those emotions and those feelings anyway, so that you can move forward from that place of stability in the long run. So anyway, that was for Libra, sun, moon, and rising signs. I hope that is helpful. We are going to move on now to Scorpio. Do watch your sun, moon, and rising signs. All three will help you triangulate what to expect for the week ahead. And if you would like a private reading from me, they are available on my website. You can find information at junodrome.com or check out the description section. There's a lot of links there. And we're going to move on. All right, Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising signs. What can you expect from the week ahead? Well, first of all, you have the Emperor, Scorpio. So I think it's important to remember that you are in control. You're in the driver's seat. And this week, it's going to be important for you to remember that, whether you can see it or not. And there's some cards that are making me think that maybe you can't always see it this week. But remembering it anyway, reminding yourself that you are in control, that you can move in any direction you need to, that you can change all the pieces on your own playing board to move yourself in a comfortable position. You have all the power and the capability to be able to do that. And you're being encouraged to do that, right? You're being encouraged to know that you have the tools at your disposal to be able to work hard and make anything happen. That if you don't like where you are, you can move everything on the board to switch things around so that you can find a place that you like. So remember that. Don't tell yourself that you're not able to do something. You got the Devil card, which is kind of saying that. It's sort of like, remember, the voice that you use for yourself will help dictate where you're at. If you tell yourself you are incapable of doing something, or if you tell yourself you can't, or that you won't, or that it's impossible, then it is, right? If you tell yourself you can't do something, you won't do it. You just won't. And you're letting that go. You're letting the possibility of being able to do it go. Now, if you tell yourself you can do something, does that mean that you will? Not necessarily, right? That's important to remember, but you get closer to being able to do it, right? If you tell yourself you can't, you definitely can't. If you tell yourself you can, you give yourself a fighting chance of being able to do something. With the Emperor, though, that's saying that you can do it. You can do any of these things. So the things that you're thinking of as I'm talking about this, it's important to remember that you can achieve those goals, that you can make things happen. And will they look exactly the way that you think? Not necessarily, right? But if you tell yourself it's impossible, or that this isn't going to happen, or that I can't do this, or any of that self-sabotage energy, it's going to keep you feeling stuck and feeling as though you can't move forward. So that's important to remember. With the Seven of Pentacles, I think that you might be feeling a little bit impatient this week too. And that's a part of where that devil energy is coming in. A feeling as though, why isn't it here yet? Why haven't I gotten where I want to? I've been working really hard. Why don't I see the results exactly yet? But this card tells you to keep going, to keep pushing, to keep putting out the energy, keep doing the work, knowing that you want to get to a certain place, and that the more that you work at it, the more that you will get there in the long run. The Seven of Pentacles, it talks about almost being at the harvest season. You've put in a lot of work and you're seeing the results, but it's not quite there yet. You're not exactly at the result that you really want yet. And that's okay, right? Think about when you're planting things. There comes a point in the growing process where you see the fruit, you see it on the tree, but it's not ripe yet. And if you pick it now, it's not going to be edible. You can't eat it, and then you've ruined all that work, right? So just keep going. You see the finish line, keep working at it. It's going to happen, but you have to have faith in yourself, and you have to keep moving forward. You've got the Page of Pentacles. It's about being in the student energy in your physical world. So be curious about things too. Don't have a closed mind this week. Really be curious about, why does my physical world look this? Why am I living here? Why am I working here? Why am I doing these things? Why am I feeling unhealthy? Why am I eating what I'm eating? Start to question and be curious about those things in your physical world, because it's going to help open you up to the possibility of change. It'll help you open up to the idea that you can do things differently, or that things can change. And that might help you too. You might learn how to do things in a new way that can ultimately help you and be better for you in the long run than where you actually are right now. So don't feel closed-minded this week. Don't feel as though you're stuck in any one thing, because you are the emperor and you can make anything happen and you can move in any direction. And so it takes being curious about your situation to open up your perspective enough to know when and where to make the moves. But if you're curious enough about it, I think that you'll find yourself getting there in the long run and feeling really good eventually about where you're at and about what's going on. So Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising signs. I hope that is helpful. We are going to move on. If you would like a private reading, they are available on my website, junodrome.com. Oh, those jump right out. Next up after Scorpio is Sagittarius. What do Sagittariuses need to know this week? Great. All right, well, let's figure it out. Remember to watch your sun, moon, and rising signs. All three will help you triangulate. If you only have two, if you're 2 in one and 1 in the other, then you can watch 2. You can watch any of your other signs as well, whatever the other planets are in. That'll help you figure out some other things about yourself. So that's helpful too. Here we go. All right, Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising signs. What can you expect for this week? Well, you've got the Seven of Swords, so you're going to be feeling a pull to move away from certain things this week. This is about moving on from choppy waters into something calmer. You might be leaving some difficult moments behind, and you're being encouraged to kind of do that. You're being encouraged to let the past go this week, to really let the difficult things go. With the Five of Pentacles, this is like a dark night of the soul period. This is a deep, difficult, emotional parts of life. I think you're being encouraged this week to finally set that aside, to finally, maybe make some forgiveness, some self-forgiveness for going through the situations that you went through, of understanding that you've made it through 100% of the challenges that you've been through before, and that you can continue to do that. And this is an excellent week of kind of like coming into a sense of calm and coming into a sense of peace within yourself, and to remember that you're at a new beginning here. This is a new moment in time for you, Sagittarius. And with that new energy, that opens up possibilities for you. This is a moment of learning new things, of finding yourself inspired and taking inspired action. Look at this person is writing. It's a very creative period for you of starting something new in creativity. And maybe that can help you move on from some of this stuff too. This might be a great week for journaling, for writing things down, for getting out all the things you need to get out, of really picking up pen and paper and just writing down all of the things you want to let go of and letting them out. This is feeling very full moon energy. I don't remember where we are in the moon cycle right now, but this is feeling like a full moon kind of ritual where you write down all the things you're ready to let go and finally let them go, and burning the paper, throwing it away, crumpling it up, taking the time to unpack and undo those things that are stuck within and letting it go, letting it out, letting it move through and continue on to another place on the other side of it. This is an excellent moment to be able to do that and to take the time to let things out. You've got the King of Swords, which is encouraging you to be in your powerful analytical mind, so not letting your emotions drive the bus right now. This is about being clear-headed and thinking analytically, letting yourself cut away all the things that you're ready to cut on, really moving away from some of those challenging things and putting yourself into a new place, maybe drawing strong boundaries with things from your past, of saying, you know what, I am not in that anymore. I'm not going to put myself there. I'm going to cut that away and open up to a stronger inner self and move from a solid inner spot from that, right? So this is about really connecting into those things that you're ready to move away from and letting them go. I think it's a big, big moment for that. This can talk about cutting cords, cutting things away. Yeah, Melissa says this makes so much sense, and cutting the past away. Yeah, I really do feel like that's what this is about. So it's just letting yourself do that. And sometimes that's really hard to do, those connection points to past things. It can be really hard to let some of that stuff go. But I think that you'll be feeling very free by the end of the week by consciously doing that, thinking about, I'm ready to let this thing go. I'm ready to forgive myself for this thing, being very specific. And that's where I think writing it down could be really helpful. Writing down those specifics. What specifically are you ready to move on from? What past situations are you specifically opening yourself to, letting them go, cutting the cords away? What people are you physically cutting cords with? You could look up some cord cutting meditations on YouTube. There's a lot of them. They're very, very helpful and thorough in helping you connect into the things that you're ready to let go of and let them go, So this is an excellent moment for that. So anyway, Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising signs. I hope that that's helpful. We are going to move on now to Capricorn. If you would like a private reading, they are available on my website. You can find information at junodrome.com. Melissa's got the hands. Yeah, all right. I'm glad that really resonated with you. That's great. I think that's great. Let's see. What do Capricorn need to know this week? Ooh. Interesting. Okay. All right, Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising signs. What do you need to know this week? Well, one of the biggest things going on for you is the star. So the star is about connecting into powerful light energy after going through darkness, right? This is the light shining through the darkness. So for you this week, Capricorn, I think that some challenging things that you've been going through, I think you're going to be feeling a little bit of alleviation from this week. I think that you're going to be feeling as though you can move forward from some challenging and difficult things you might have been going through for a while and find the time to connect to a little bit of peace within you. This is about connecting into the feelings of joy and happiness that are present sometimes in the moments where difficult things have happened, or of feeling reprieve from difficulty, or feeling as though you can actually start to move in a positive direction after maybe that not feeling the case. It is the springtime energy. If you think about it, we're in that moment as well. This is about we're into the astrological new year, which is the beginning of spring. And this is connecting into that springtime energy, that renewal, the rebirth, the connecting into new energy from that. This is a great time for that, of feeling as though things are actually possible after a long period of time where things have felt impossible. So I think that's great. I think you're going to start to feel some of that possibility. You've got the Ace of Wands as well, which is about that inspiration energy, feeling inspired and having a new journey for your inspirations. For you, instead of writing down the things you want to get rid of, I think for you, Capricorn, this is a great moment. This is new moon energy for you of writing down all the things you want in your life. Really take some time to journal and feel inspired, maybe feel really creative this week, and start to ask yourself, what are some things you want? What are some things you'd like to make happen in this period? This is a new year. What are some New Year's resolutions for yourself for the astrological new year? There's so many New Years happening all the time, I feel like, but this is a really good one too. This is a great one for seasons. If you think about spring as a new renewal, a rebirth, what would you like for this period? It's a great moment for really giving yourself the tools of manifestation to start building those into your life. You have the power and the capability to do that. So what would you like to have happen for yourself? With the Page of Pentacles, this is a student new energy in the physical world. So I think that you're right on the precipice of being able to change some things in your life. Maybe new job, maybe new place to live, maybe new environments, new health routines, new diets. Start to allow yourself the possibility of thinking that you can change those things, and ask yourself, what are some things you want from that? What are some new things? If you could change certain aspects about your life, what would you change? What would you move in a new direction? This is a great time to start asking yourself that, because it's going to open you up to a lot of possibilities. And finally, keep putting in the work in the places you need to with the Seven of Pentacles. This can be a little bit of a frustrating card, because it comes in sometimes when we want to be further along than we actually are. But it is saying that the fruits of your labor are leading somewhere, and they will bring you into the places and the results that you want. So keep putting in that work. You're going to get to where you want to go in the long run. So Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs, I hope that that's helpful. We're going to move on now. Give me one moment, because the cat wants to get into this room. So hold on. Okay, so that was Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. Be sure to watch all three to get a better perspective and picture on what to expect. We're going to move on now. All right, next up we have, I did this too early. Well, we'll do it again. So give me 1 second. If you would like a private reading from me, they are available on my website. We've got a cat coming in today to join us for a little bit. That's great. All right, let's see. One more. I think it's the first time I've had a cat on this show. Thank you for joining us, Ziggy. Appreciate the energy. All right, let's move on now to Aquarius. All right, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. What can you expect for the week ahead? We've got a little partner for our journey here for the last few. All right, Aquarius. Well, I think this is a great week for you to be in your own strength. We'll start with that one. This is a great moment for you to do the things that are, we can literally hear the cat purring. Great. This is a great moment to do the things that you're good at, and to play to your own strengths this week. I think this is a powerful moment of really asking yourself, what can I do well? What are some things I know that I'm good at? And how can I continue those things into my life? How can I implement my talents and my my experiences in life and bring them into my life in a positive way? I think the more that you can ask yourself that this week, the more that you'll be in a position of really feeling solid about where you're at and helping you move forward. This is a moment of allowing in movement in the physical world, changing things up in your day-to-day life, where you live, where you work, that kind of thing. There's movement in that, there's momentum in that, and building abundance and the journey towards abundance for yourself. And so I think that playing to your strength is going to be really important. Somebody else got a similar message to this, and I can't remember which pile, but I think that this is a great moment for you to really ask yourself, what are some things that I do well? And by doing those things well, it might seem too easy to play to those types of strengths, but honestly, they're your strengths for a reason. And by doing those things, utilizing those strengths, you can move yourself forward in a positive direction that in the long run will really help you out. You've got the Six of Cups, which talks about happy memories from the past. So, this could be, things that you remember from childhood that you were really good at. Maybe you haven't done them in a while, or you've been too afraid to, because you're trying to play it safe, in whatever that means to you, do the safe thing. But maybe that's not all that safe in the long run, right? Sometimes it's about holding your cards a little bit too close because you're afraid of putting yourself out there. But I think that following the things that inspired you in childhood may be really helpful and important for you this week in helping you move forward. And that maybe there's something that would be even more abundant and more possible for you in the long run that could also make you happy and feel like it's within your wheelhouse, instead of feeling like stuck in any one direction, that you can open yourself up to that a little bit more this week. I think in the long run could help you out. So anyway, Aquarius, I hope that that's helpful. We're going to move on. Please do watch your sun, moon, and rising signs. All three will help you out. And yeah, we're going to move on now. We got one more plus the group reading. So we'll do both. Okay, one more. All right. All right, Pisces, sun, moon, and rising signs. What can you expect for the week ahead? Well, first of all, you've got the Four of Wands, which is the rest card. So you're being encouraged to take some time and to rest. I think this is a great moment for you this week to really ask yourself, what can I put down? What are some things I can put down? How can I come back into a restful state? How can I get enough sleep? Make sure you're getting enough sleep. You're taking your time on certain things. You're not pushing things too hard. This is a great week for slowing down a little bit, coming back into yourself, coming back into a sense of calm and resolve, and then using that to help you move forward. We've got the death card. So it's not always a scary thing. Usually it just means some powerful endings. It can talk about really intense endings, but usually they're endings that you know about, and it's interesting. There's been new beginning energy through all of the readings. This is the first real endings energy, but this is the end of the astrological new year we're at right now. It starts up with Aries season coming up in a few weeks here. So, and Pisces, you are the last sign in the zodiac in that way. So this is about kind of ending Pisces season from a really positive place. Really you're in your zone, in your wheelhouse. Use the rest of this time in your sign to feel really clear and to feel really comfortable about where you are, to move yourself forward, because in the long run you're moving into a more open position for yourself. You've got the Nine of Pentacles, which talks about basking in your own private garden. So being in your own accomplishments and achievements and feeling good about the things that you've done. I think this week is going to be a great week for you to maybe go it alone a little bit and, do some fun things for yourself. What are some great things that you can do for yourself this week to feel good? This can talk about like relaxation and rejuvenation energy too, which the other cards really help with that too. Of, maybe this is about going on a vacation or going to the pool, or like going somewhere in nature and relaxing, or finding some relaxing, rejuvenating thing you can do for yourself. I think if you do that, I think you'll end the week feeling really good and really solid about life. Finally, we have the Queen of Swords. So she cuts things away a lot too. So I think as at the end of this week, this is a great week for you to kind of like do that spring cleaning energy as things are coming in. Ask yourself, well, what are some things I no longer need? What can I let go of? What are some things I'm holding on to that I maybe don't need to? I think if you ask yourself those questions this week, you'll end up leaving the week feeling really good and solid about yourself in the long run. So anyway, Pisces, sun, moon, and rising signs, I hope that that was helpful, and I hope you have an excellent week ahead. We're going to do our collective reading next. If you'd like a private reading for me, they are available on the website, junodrome.com. Let's do a collective reading and see where everybody's at. Yep. Yep. Okay, a lot of repeat messages, which is great. So that'll be nice. All right, collective, what can we all expect for the week ahead? Well, the biggest thing that we're all kind of dealing with right now is entering into a new chapter with the World card here. So, we're all going through a period of renewal and rebirth with the astrological new year coming up in the next week or two. We're moving into Aries season soon. I can't remember the exact date, but it's coming up here by the end of the month. And with that renewal, rebirth energy, there's a lot of possibilities. We're entering into a new chapter. So what are some things you want? What are some things you want to bring into life? Ask yourself that question this week and really ask yourself, what can I do to bring in new positive things into my life? The more that you can bring those things in, the more that you'll be feeling really secure and safe about life and about yourself. And that can help in the long run here. With the Four of Cups, really, the universe is trying to give us some powerful gifts, and they're hard to see right now. And I think that that's true. There's so much going on, and there's so much chaos, and there's so much difficult things happening. And I think that we're being encouraged this week maybe not to take a look at those things, but to really take a look at you and your own personal life and focus on that. Focus on your community this week. Focus on the things that are here in the present moment for you, in this moment, here, right? Here and now, not outside, but right here, right now. And what are the gifts that the universe is giving you? Because that's how we all act. If we can all act and build a better life for ourselves in this moment in our communities, the more that collectively we can do some real change in some of the difficult things going on. So I think we're being encouraged to think on the local level a little bit. With the Emperor card, you are in control of your life and of your situation. As much as there are always going to be things from the external that you can't control, you can control yourself, and you can control how you react, right? You can't control what other people do to you, but you can control how you react to those actions, right? You can't stop anybody else from acting, but you can act yourself, and you can change, and you can react from your own way. And that's something that's important to keep in mind this week, of knowing that, what is my reaction to what's going on? What can I do to alleviate some of the challenges? What can I do to build more peace into my life? What can I do to create a positive change for myself? All of those kinds of questions can be really helpful and important in the long run for you. Finally, we have the Two of Cups. So with the Two of Cups, this is a really powerful moment of connecting in with other people, maybe a partnership for some people, but this came up for Gemini as well. And I really do think it's about uniting the forces within ourselves to be in a really solid position moving forward. So what can you do to make sure that you're feeling good about yourself and about life? And what can you do to maybe forgive yourself from certain things, clear out any kind of inner turmoil so that you can be on a really straight, solid, narrow path for your own internal self? I think the more that you can do that, the more in the long run you'll be feeling really solid about life and about what's going on, so that you can move forward from a really positive place in the long run. So anyway, collective, that was my reading for you. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. And yeah, I think I might leave it again at this. So thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. I don't think I'm going to do little mini personal readings today, so I think we'll just end it here. But if you have tipped me in the past, I give little mini tipped readings. If you want a real private reading, they are available on the website. You can find information at junodrome.com. Those are always open. There's many different options, so go ahead and look at that. For those who I have readings out to, you know when to expect those. You'll get them shortly. And that's it for this week. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope you have an excellent week ahead. Check out more content coming to the channel. There is a pick a card that went really well this past week. I'll probably be doing 1 or 2 of those more coming up here. So watch out for some more pick a card tarot readings on the channel. And the daily shorts will be continuing as well. So for little mini daily messages, you have those. Thank you all so much for tuning in, everybody. I'll catch you in the next week. Bye.